Hello my dear students, how you doing? I hope you are perfectly doing well. السلام عليكم أعزائي المشاهدين، كنتمنى تكونوا مزيان ومرحبا بكم في قناة English with Mimon. In this video we are going to introduce the unit of formal, informal and non-formal education. في هذا الفيديو نبداو بريزونطيو اليونيت ديال formal, informal and non-formal education. Alright, first we are going to start with definition of each type. Alright, let's get started. Informal education. It's the first education that we receive. هي أول تعلم كنتلقاوه. Okay? It refers to learning that occurs in daily work, family and leisure. هو واحد التعلم كنتلقاوه مع العائلة في وقت الفراغ فاش نخرجوا لبرا etc. هذا هو informal education. Okay? For example, watching TV, staying with family, reading books, listening to radio, etc. هذوما example of informal education. For example, when we watch TV we learn something. ملي كنتفرجوا التلفازة كتعلموا شي حاجة. داك التعلم كيتسمى informal education. Or staying with family. ملي كنكونوا مع عائلتنا كيقولنا هذه خايبة هذه زوينة. Listening to radio, listening to music, etc. هذاك التعلم كيتسمى informal education. Okay? There is no program, ما فيش program, and it's not taught in formal language. Alright, the second one is formal education. والتعلم النظامي. Okay? This type of education results from a program. There is a program of instruction in educational institutions. التعلم في بروجرام وكيكون في المؤسسات التربوية ولا التعليمية. Okay? And it leads to certification. Okay? دير الدبلومة ولا شواهد etc. هذا هو formal education. بحال داكشي اللي عندنا في الليسيات الاعداديات etc. هذاك هو formal education. It's done in a formal language. كيتقرا بلغة رسمية. Okay, for example, high school, التعليم الثانوي, university, الجامعة, vocational school, هو التكوين المهني. Okay. In high schools, universities, vocational school, we receive formal education. كنتلقاو formal education. كيكون بلغة رسمية. Okay? The third one is non-formal education. Okay? There is formal and non-formal education. Okay? This type of learning results from a program. Okay? There is a program. But it does not lead to certification. It doesn't lead to certification and is not evaluated. Have type ديال education, non-formal education. There is program, فيه program كيقراو بمقرر but does not lead to certification ولكن ما كيديش لشواهد and is not evaluated ما فيش تقييم ما فيش نقاط etc. Okay. شنو هو an example of non-formal education? For example, evening classes بحال السوايع كنقراو program السوايع اللي كنديرو في لي سونطر ولا اللغات. Okay. There is program but there is no certification. كيكون program ولكن ما كيكونش شواهد. Okay. For example, language centers. Evening classes. هما لي كور دو سوار etc. Language centers, evening classes فيهم non-formal education. There is a program فيه program ولكن there is no certification or diploma. Okay. Next one is elementary education. ولا primary education. كنقولوا elementary education ولا primary education. هو التعلم اللي كنتلقاوه في الابتدائي. It refers to the first stage, أول مرحلة, when pupils هما students. تلامذة صغار students. Sorry. Okay, it's the first stage when pupils receive their first formal education. أول مرة كتلقاو فيه التعلم الرسمي ولا النظامي. In primary schools. وكيكون في primary schools. Okay. هو التعلم اللي كتلقاوه في المرحلة الابتدائية. هذاك هو elementary education ولا primary education. Alright. The next one is secondary education. Okay. It is the second stage after primary education. بالعربية حنا كنقولوا ثانوي إعدادي، مخلطين فيه الإعدادي والثانوي. هذاك هو secondary education. It's the second stage after primary education. كيجي من بعد الابتدائي. Okay. The last one is higher education. بالعربية هو التعليم العالي. It refers to formal learning. كيكون formal learning كيكون فيه لغة رسمية. That occurs after high school. كيكون من بعد ثانوي. It usually takes place. فين كيكون هادشي؟ takes place هي كيطرأ يحدث يتم. In universities كيكون في الجامعات. And vocational schools كيكون في sorry there is full stop here. Okay, it takes place in universities and vocational schools. كيكون في الجامعات ولا التكوين المهني. And it leads to certificate وكيدل الشواهد ولا دبلومة. هذا هو higher education. كيكون في universities and vocational schools. Okay, these are types of education. I hope you all understood all these types. Let's do a piece of activity to make distinction between these types of education. All right. The instruction. Read the resources of education and match them with types. قالك اقرأ الموارد ديال التعلم وربطهم بكل تيب. Here we have types. Informal education. شنو قلنا informal education؟ هو التعلم اللي كيكون في العائلة والمجتمع. Formal education هو اللي كيكون في المؤسسة التعليمية. Non-formal education هو اللي كيكون فيه بروغرام ولكن ما فيهش شواهد بحال السوايع and language centers classes. Okay. All right, let's get started. Quranic schools. المدارس القرآنية فين نحطوهم؟ واش informal education, formal education or non-formal education? Okay, there is yes formal language but there is no certification. ما فيش شواهد. So it's non-formal education. Okay. Number 2, reading books. Yes, it takes place in free time, leisure, etc. So it's yes, informal education. Private schools, المدارس الخصوصية. Yes, there is certification, there is program, etc. So it's formal education. Evening classes. هما السواع ولا الدروس لي كور دو سوار. Evening classes what informal education, formal education, non-formal education. Yes, of course, non-formal education. There is formal language, there is program, but there is no certification. Go shopping. تسوق. فاش كنت كتسوق وكتعلم شي حاجة. Okay, what is it? Informal, formal, non-formal? Yes, informal education. Okay. Kindergarten هو الروض. Kindergarten. What does it belong to? Informal, formal, or non-formal? Yes, non-formal education. There is a program, but there is no certification. Vocational training. هو داك التدريب اللي كنديرو في التكوين المهني. كيديروا الطلبة في التكوين المهني. Yes, it's formal education. There is program and there is diploma. High school. المدارس الثانوية. Yes, of course, it's formal education. There is diploma at the end of the year. Watching TV. Yes, it's leisure time. Yes, of course, it's informal. It's informal education. Okay, I hope that you all understood the difference between informal education, formal education, and non-formal education. Please try to give more examples, and if you got any question, write it down on a comment. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe. ما تنسوش تشتركوا في القناة باش توصلوا بأي درس. Thank you, bye, and take care.